What are we doing, Josh?
Tearing apart this piece of shit that you traded a perfectly healthy IS for.
Yeah, but it's got a 4AG. It's been a while. I'm gonna skip all that. Head gasket's bad on the AE86, the 4AGE. So we are pulling the head and maybe the entire motor. Hopefully just the head. And then swapping the gasket.
It's not as bad as I thought it'd be though.
Well, no, as soon as it started mixing, I fucking turned it off.
Yeah.
And it's pretty bad in the oil pan.
It might not hurt to put new oil in it, run it for a couple 100 miles, and then drain it and put new oil in it.
Yeah, when it's done.
Just to flush it.
Mm-hmm. Really want to pull this whole thing just so I can...
Paint the engine back.
Yeah. It would fix all this. It'd fix all that. I mean, we're pretty much a quarter of the way there with this out. I guess we'll see when we get there. Looks like all we need to pull to get this head off, obviously undo the timing, undo the accessories, pull the carbs off, drain the coolant. Hopefully that's not too bad in there. Pull this guy, pull that guy. There is a fucking sending unit in the back that's got to get pulled. But other than that, I don't think this is going to be that big of a job.
Pretty simple. No heater core, no fucking AC. Really just like bare bones what the motor needs to run. So.
Mm-hmm. We got the intake manifold off, or the ITBs, whichever you prefer.
Why did he use...
Oh my God. Why is that there? Oh God, it's mushy. Yeah, that's terrible. There's a lot of really terrible things on this car, but there's a lot of really cool things on it too. Yep, that's the update. What? That boot isn't doing anything. What is it doing?
Is it the rack and pinion?
It's the steering rack.
Oh, you're recording.
Again. Update to the update. Working on undoing the timing and getting the sending units for the gauges off of the head. And then once that's done, we can start depopulating the actual head so we can get to the head studs and then remove said head. So not too bad. We've been in here for, I don't know, what time is it?
6:44. We've been in here
Like-
since 5.
Like an hour and 40 minutes, almost half the head off. That's not bad. We back. Same day. What time is it?
7:06.
7:06. And we're now pulling the cams out. So as soon as the cams come out, then we'll be able to pull the head studs out and then pull the head out. Everything's been taken out. So this is all that's left. Not too bad, especially since this has already been rebuilt before. Everything was, well, I should say nothing was corroded and stuck in there. So, and there's all
There were
this.
some things that were a little loose.
Yeah, or not there at all. There's all the stuff. It's like moist. It's like a soggy cardboard. Gross. I can't see the failure point though. You see where it's like blown out or anything?
It's got oil there. A little bit of oil there. Oil around there, oil there. I don't know.
Kind of looks like right there maybe. I'm not sure.
Neither am
As you can see, there is coolant chilling on the piston head. And so over here is the head itself. You can see the chocolatey, fudgy.
Schiffer. It's a good thing you caught it early though.
Yeah.
Definitely could have been a lot worse.
Honestly. You just keep driving it like, I don't know why it's overheating. Let me put an external oil cooler on it. It'll fix it. I think Gibby's here. He has nowhere to park. Gibby.
I thought he chickened out.
Right now, what we're doing is we're going to depopulate a bunch of shit that is in our way. We're gonna start filling holes that we don't need. As soon as I fill all the holes, we're gonna grind them all down. We're going to sand pretty much anything that's blue, and then we're going to repaint. Also going to seam seal where these welds are from the previous owner, putting these tubs in. And then as soon as the engine bay is shaved, sealed, painted, and ready to go, then we're going to rebuild the motor because the head is done. Yeah, let's get to it.
How about goddamn?
Do you think? Same thing.
You do my thing. Oh, I look like a chicken wing to you? There it is. AE86 though. That's cool.
Oh my God.
Paper towel starting to...
This is our progress as of now. We shaved the bay, we prepped everything, we painted everything, we fixed some wires, we fixed some issues that were existing already. What else did we do? Water pump, tensioner pulley for the timing belt, painted the valve covers, painted the pulleys, I think. Yeah, pulleys. We got all that done. Now, we just put the head on. So we're gonna slide the rest of the ARP head studs in, and we're going to secure the head. And then we'll populate the head, put the valve covers on, get all that dialed in, and then probably call it a night. This was what, the span of, this is day 2?
Day 2.
Day 2.
We're probably at, we were for like 10 hours yesterday.
What, about 7 so far now?
Yeah,
something like that.
So, we're like 17 hours in.
Hey guys, so just to recap, a lot's been happening this weekend. This is day 4 now. We pretty much got everything tore down, everything depopulated, pulled the fenders, the headlights, the bumper, whatever. We installed it, or we painted the bay, shaved the bay, painted it, tidied it up a lot. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better. We put the head on, went to start it last night, and the only thing that we messed up was apparently the cam gears have to go on the cams a specific way. For some reason, I didn't take that into consideration. Anyway, I will explain that to you in a second, but basically the way it's set up now, even though we put our little timing marks in the right spots, it was off and we couldn't figure out why. We thought it might have been the distributor. We didn't know what it was. Well, come to find out that this is upside down. So even though the timing looks like it's right, it's actually more like down here. So today what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna undo the timing, pull a couple of these things off to get to it, flip this cam gear, then retime it. And theoretically, it should start up. If you're building a 16 valve 4AGE, whenever you use the ARP head studs, are built for a different setup for a GE that doesn't have a distributor. So you get everything bolted up and you go to slide your distributor on. There's a shaft that comes through here, and there's a gear here, and there's a gear that's on the shaft of the distributor. Well, it lines up, but it sticks out a little bit underneath that gear that's on this camshaft, those aftermarket head studs. So you have to take the distributor out, You have to shave down the face of it. I wish I took a picture of it or a video of it, but you have to shave this down. You have to modify your distributor shaft so it doesn't go all the way in and hit the head stud. Nobody talks about that online unless you encounter the issue and it prompts you to look up the issue online. That's just the first of many. Water pump. So in rear-wheel drive and front-wheel drive configurations of your 4AGE, front-wheel drive being the MR2s, right? The water pump is offset differently. If you get a true rear-wheel drive water pump, it actually, the offset sticks out further. So your accessories belt will not line up. This is the front-wheel drive configuration because this is out of an MR2. This hugs it in a little bit further. So if you do go with the rear-wheel drive water pump, which sets the offset out, you need to figure out how to space your alternator out and switch the crankshaft pulley. Last thing that nobody talks about, and unless you encounter this issue or you just have that much experience in the 4AGE world, or maybe just you have that much experience in motor rebuilding entirely, I'm not sure, this is only the second motor I've ever rebuilt, your cam gears. So you obviously line up these little hash marks, or this little dot with this little hash mark on both sides, right? And then you do the same thing down there on your crank. Okay, that's all anyone really ever says until you run into this issue and it prompts you to look it up. At least in my case, that's what happened. You have to flip this. So the little nub for this needs to go through here. So you see how there's a stud there? There's no stud there. No stud. And this stud. Well, this intake side is upside down. That stud needs to be going through this hole on this cam gear. So this is lined up. So although it looks like it's timed properly, it's not. It's super off. Because technically this dot is down here. It's opening the intake valves and the exhaust valves at the same time. So it's not letting it combust and start the way it's supposed to. Other than that, everything's been going well. So let me go ahead and reverse about an hour or two's worth of work so I could fix this, put it back together, and then I will update when it comes time for first start. Just really quick, this is what I'm talking about. So that little nub has to fit in like that, because you can flip it. You can actually accidentally install it upside down. distributor a bit, tweaking the fuel pressure a tad. I was able to get it dialed in a bit better. Now it's idling at about 13.5 to 13.8. Now all I have left to do is bleed the coolant, which is pretty much done. I did an oil flush about 2 times, and then the third fill up is the final. So she should be about ready for a test drive. All right, so I am officially completed. There's a couple things I need to go back and do. I need to go and collect hardware that's been missing, replace a bunch of stuff. I want to replace this, actually this entire thing, oil cap, stuff like that. Real small, but for the most part, this car is intact and it is drivable. I'm gonna go take it for a test drive, see if it needs any more bleeding, stuff like that. And then, yeah, we'll see what happens on the test drive.